So today we'll create class methods, okay, different class methods, and using input as internal table data and output as also internal table data. And we can also see how to pass select options as input to the class methods. Till now we have seen only single value inputs, that is parameters. Today we'll see how to pass internal table data as input and how to return internal table data as output. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
We'll also see till now what we did to return the internal table data. We created the table type, right?
Yes, sir.
Where did we create it?
Yes, sir. SC11.
In SC11 data dictionary we created the table type, right? So now we
Yes,
see
sir.
without creating a SC11 table type, how can you pass internal table data as input and how can you return internal table data as output without using table type?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
within class methods, how can you define importing and exporting parameters? We'll see today. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so we'll select some purchase order data using select options. For this, first we'll define the parameters and sorry, input selection screen. So we'll take purchase order number as one input. Company code as another input, and we'll take one more, that is created date. Now define the select options.
Sir, LV underscore AD.
So this is created date.
For LV underscore date, comma, SO underscore Bookers, for LV underscore Bookers, comma, SO underscore EDLN.
Now what is the next step? Maintain the selection text. Activate it. Save and activate. Now we have our selection screen. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we'll try to populate some default date. This is to populate default values to the select options. So for example,
Sys data.
Hyphen datum,
-10.
high, sign options.
Sign is include.
Option is in between.
Then append.
SO underscore.
For date,
So if you want to validate anything, you have to validate. For now, I'm not writing any validations. If you want, you can implement the validations. Now, we'll create a class, helper class for this program, and we implement the business functionality in that helper class. Okay. So what are the inputs here? We have date,
Date.
company code,
View.
and purchase order number. So what type of inputs are these? Single value inputs or range of values?
Range of inputs, sir.
So these are range of inputs. These are not single values. If it is a single value input, you can just define uh, importing parameter like im underscore company code type company code internal table, sorry, data element, and you can pass the input. But since it's a range, we cannot directly define it. Okay. As a importing parameter, let's see how to define these kind of inputs, select options as inputs to the class methods. Okay. Create a method, create a class. Okay, create this class, select as class. Save. So now we'll write three different methods. One method is to select purchase order header data, and the other method is to select purchase order item data, and the other method is to select purchase order material data, right? So we can achieve this using a single method by using a join, inner join, right?
Yes, sir.
Or we'll write only one method. I'll give you another example program how to. So here we need a method to pass the inputs, right? How many inputs we have here?
Three inputs.
Three inputs. Read PO underscore data. This is the method. This is the instance method. You know what is instance method? I'm using public method. Define the parameters. So what are the input here? What is the input here? What is the input for this method? What is the input for read PO data method?
Three.
Yeah, we have
We
three
have
select
this.
options. We have to pass these three select options as input, right?
Yes, sir.
Now we have to define three select options. But what is the type we have to take here? What is the associated type for that select option input? That we have to define. Okay, go to types, enter the type name. It is just like type structures. How many of you know type structures?
Yes, sir.
Using types begin of end of.
Begin of and of.
Local type
Define with
structures. Yeah, we define it
types.
with required fields, right? To define the internal
Yes, sir.
tables and work areas. Here also we are going to do the same. Nothing new here. Provide the type structure name. For example, ty underscore date. click on here, direct type entry. Yes, here you are going to create your type structure, types, right? Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
So here you are going to define your type structures and using those type structures as importing and exporting parameters. Okay, types begin of ty
Begin.
underscore date. Here it is for select option, right? To accept the select option, right? So
Yes, sir.
what is the fields available in select option? Sign.
S1,
What are the fields? What are the fields in a select option structure?
uh, low, high,
Sign,
sign and
Sign
option.
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 Yeah.
Option.
What is the length of sign? What is the length of sign? One, right? Char one.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you
Sir,
sing.
sing and రాశారు.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Type C. Option. This is also, I think it is 2,
One.
right? BTR equal to. How can
Yes,
you
sir.
pass? It is 2 because BTEQ, right? We are going to pass 2 character values.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is the type of date? Low. For low, what is the type you have to take? The data element of the type field, date field. What is that?
Hearing.
You can also check it in the program. What is the type? AEDAT. AEDAT are different. Go to the table and check. This is the date. Data element for date, AEDAT. High, right? End of ty underscore date. That's it. What are the other select options we need? We need EBLN,
Bookers.
Bookers,
Buckets.
right? Define the same.
T underscore.
Copy this. So here instead of date, we take Bookers. What is the type here? For low, what is the type? For company code, Bookers. Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir. Sir, but select options are used for date, numerical data. It means dates, అలా అన్నారు కదా miss.
I never told you.
It means whenever we validating, we have to pass the select options dates and numerical way. Like company code and other, we have to use the check table when validating.
So what is the point of validating here? So did am I discussing anything about validation here?
No, sir. In previous sessions.
No, I never told you that we have to pass only numerical values for validations. You can validate any value, but when you are going to use check table is for master data. For example, company code. For example, customer number. So for these kind of values, we go against the check tables to validate the value, whether it is available in the check table or not. Now what are we doing here? We are trying to select a purchase order data. We are not validating anything here. We are trying to select purchase order data with the help of select options as input. That's why I am defining select option structure to define the importing parameters.
EBLM and high also.
Save it.
Maybe.
Okay. Bookers is gone. TY underscore public. Okay. So we defined three select option structures. If you want a different structure, internal table structure, so define here with the list of fields what you are going to pass as input. Okay. So if you use these type structures as importing and exporting parameters, are they going to behave like an internal table structure or work area like structure? So these are going to behave like a work area like structures. If you want to make them as internal table structures, what you have to do? You have to create internal table types in the type structures. For example, zty underscore bookers. For example, after the type structure declaration, now we are defining internal table type. Okay, so this is just a structure. This is work area like structure, and now we are going to define an internal table like structure. Just observe how can we do that. Types, for example, zt underscore t underscore t means just assume it as a table type. Date type standard table of ty underscore date. Similarly,
Bookers and other.
okay. So what I did here, I created three different type structures for three select options and created table types. Created table types for these type structures. These are the table types. Okay. So now we are handling it in the class itself. We are not creating it in SC11. Right? Are you able to follow this?
Yes, sir.
If you don't create the table type, what will happen? So this will just act as work area like structures. To make them as internal table like structures, you have to create table type. Okay. Something wrong. ZTY underscore date and ZTY underscore EBLN. From where this coming? ZTY. Okay. Just check the. So remove this. We don't have such parameters. So we have three type structures and three table types.
Table types.
Now go to the method, importing parameters. What are the three inputs? For example, uh, IT underscore date. It is importing parameter. What is the associated type?
GT underscore T underscore.
ZTY underscore T underscore date. ZT is the only GT.
Yes, sir. No one.
Okay, ZT underscore T underscore date. Okay.
IT underscore Bookers. Importing parameter. GT underscore T underscore Bookers. Table name.
So these are the inputs. For example, if you use, for example, like this date ty underscore date. Then what is the difference between these two, it underscore date and im underscore date? If you give
IM
only type
underscore
structure,
IM underscore access work area, IT underscore access internal
yeah.
table.
So if you provide type structure, it will act as work area like structure. If you provide table type, it acts as
Internal
internal table like
internal table
structures.
structure.
Okay, this is same, not only select options. If you want to pass internal table data as input, first define a type structure here in the types with the internal table type. What are the fields of the internal table? Okay, so how you define, for example, you are selecting EBLN, AEDAT, BUKRS from EKKO data into a internal table in the program. And if you need to pass the same internal table to the class method, what you need to do? You need to define a type structure
Attribute
with the three fields. Whatever the fields you are selecting in the program, you have to define a type structure type structure in the method also in the same order with the same fields, and create the table type with the same type. Okay, so now we are done with the importing parameters. Let's go for exporting parameters. We'll delete this it underscore date, this is not required. Okay, now let's go to the exporting parameter. What is the output data we are expecting? For example, we'll select data from three different tables or four different tables. Do we have any methods which we use inner join, read PO data? So here we are using inner join, right? We'll use the same, but by using, here we are using only single value input, that is company code. But in our program, we are going to use select options as input for the method, right? So here we have to define the exporting parameter. First, build the type structure for the output. Go to types, ty underscore, for example, output. Or directly go to any type structure. We'll define one type structure with the for the output. Okay, so what are the fields we are selecting? Go here, EBLN, EBLP, Bookers, AEDAT, MATNR, MAKTX. These are the fields, right? Let's define the output type structure. Type
EBLT time.
AEDAT, type This is for output, please observe. What is the data element for MAKTX?
MAKTX is a
Output. Now we'll define one more type structure because we are returning internal table type data, right? Multiple records. That's why if you're returning only single record, table type is not required. You can use this ty underscore output. Okay, clear? Okay, so we have one type structure and with the table type, right? Now define our exporting parameter. For example, et underscore output
Output.
is the exporting
Export.
parameter. Type table type. That's it. Now what you need to make sure, the select statement should contain same fields in the same order, right? Go to the method, implement the method. So this is method definition. Now we are implementing the method by writing the source code. I'll just copy the previous one. Here we have taken the same fields, right, in the same order in the output, in the type structure. Same or not?
Same, sir. Everything.
Same. So we can directly use et underscore output. Okay, sorry. Otherwise, define one internal table and use it. So yeah, here we have different input parameters, right?
Yes, sir.
That is
IT understood.
in in select options, right? These are select options, not internal tables, right?
Not parameters. Yes, sir.
And what are the other fields? And
CT total operator. Ability.
date. Okay. So now, for example, if you don't pass anything, if all these select options are empty, what will happen is the select statement is going to work or not? if you don't pass anything in the select options, what will happen? Is this select
It
statement is
will
going to
execute, sir.
what is the output?
Uh,
It will replace different fields
it
in this.
displays all the entire data, sir.
Yes, you are right. It will select entire data if you don't pass anything. Okay, in the select options. But for example, if it is a parameter, if you are passing a parameter here, like for example, im underscore you are passing a parameter here. What will happen if you don't pass anything in the parameter?
It will not give
It will
anything.
It
not
won't select
execute, sir.
anything. It won't select anything. Okay.
It will raise an error message, sir,
No
if we
error
pass
message.
an message.
It sub RC will be not equal to 0. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Save. Check the syntax. Okay. Escape signs are missing. Unknown column date.
AE dates. AE dates.
Right. You are right. Activate the class method. You have to select these objects also, class relevant objects. Our class method is completed. See, you have seen you have seen how to define exporting parameter for internal table type using table types, type structure and table type. It is same. It is same if you need to pass internal table data as input. Okay, you have to create a type structure and define type structure with a table type and use it here as a importing parameter. There is no difference. So go to the program. Now what we need to do to call the class, what is the first step?
Yes.
Pattern. Go to
Create an object.
Create the
Define an
object.
object and create an object.
Okay, create the object data of, for example, lo underscore
which is
obj equal to new. What is the class name? Do you have any constructor? Do we have
No,
any
sir.
constructor in the program? So do we have any
no.
importing parameters for the constructor? No, right? So we can leave it blank. Okay, yeah, thank you. Let's see our inline declaration should work, because earlier it is showing it is inactive. What I did, I've reopened the program. Okay. For example, if you are doing any changes to the class methods, just relaunch your program. Okay. Now call your class method. How to call a class method?
Pattern.
Go to
Go to
pattern,
pattern.
web
ABAP
object patterns,
objects
Pattern.
pattern.
continue. The
Continue.
instance provide the object
Instance.
name,
Object.
Class name
Class.
class name provide the class name,
and call the method.
call the method. So what are the inputs here? It underscore date. For it underscore date, pass the select option.
So underscore date.
So for the output, to return the output, what we have to pass here?
Inline
So
declarations
you can
we
use
can.
inline declaration. For example, LT underscore final or LT underscore final, whatever you want. What is the alternative? Create a type structure. Create a type structure and define internal table with same type, just like how we do it in class method. The other alternative is, so this one, right? Output, right? Copy this, whatever you have in class method. Okay. Define, name might be different. Name may not be same. Okay. Type structure name may be different, but fields should be in the same order and the same fields. That is mandatory. Okay. So define a internal table.
Data.
QA underscore final. Okay. And just pass it here in the importing parameter. Or simply, if you are working with class methods, simply you don't need to create all these type structures. Just pass, just use inline declaration. Both are same. Now what is the next step? If LT underscore final is not initial, and if it is not initial, what you have to do? Build the field catalog and call ALV grid, right? Clear?
Yes.
For what? For which fields you have to build the field catalog? These fields, whatever the fields available in IT underscore final, right? These fields EBLN, EBLP, Bookers, Matner, and MEKTX. For this, first you have to define type pools, SLIS, SLIS, and define the field catalog, internal table and work area. Clear? Define the field catalog, internal table and work area. Then call your ALV function module here. But for now, I'm using CL demo output. LT underscore final, right? Check pools. So this is it. Is everyone clear how we write this program? We define select options in the selection screen, and we are using those select options as input for the class method, and we are returning internal table data as output. To define importing parameters which can accept internal table like data, it is same, the process is same. Okay, clear? Is everyone clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So to test this program, F8. So these are the default values which we are passing in the initialization event. Okay. If you want the rest of the inputs, pass it. Otherwise, just execute. So this is the output. You have to build ALV output. I'm just using CL demo output just to save some time. You have to use ALV output here with all these 6 fields in the field catalog. Clear?
Okay, sir.
So if you don't pass anything in the select option, how it will behave? It will select all the data. Okay. That's why whenever we are using select options, we should make sure that there is at least one mandatory parameter, one mandatory input. Otherwise, we are unnecessarily going to select all the data. Okay. When we are using select options, we should make at least one input select option as mandatory, maybe company code or created date. Okay. Otherwise, it's going to select all the data. Okay. It won't execute only required data. It will unnecessarily select all the data. Okay.